Welcome to the Drunken Zombies Podcast. I'm Adrian, and I am so excited to be your host for this gruesomely delightful journey
Gruesomely delightful.
into the world of the undead.
Yeah, and I'm Julia, your resident expert on all things zombie, here to dissect and analyze these spine-chilling tales.
You guys get ready for a daily dose of addictive zombie stories told with the kind of masterful storytelling that'll leave you craving more. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and get ready for some serious brain-munching mayhem.
Yeah,
Don't forget to rate and follow us to keep those drunken zombies coming back for more.
absolutely. We've got a truly mind-bending story for you today. Okay, so picture this. The world's in the grip of a full-blown zombie apocalypse, and humanity's hanging on by a thread.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, their last hope rests on the research of a brilliant scientist, Dr. Elara Vance.
Oh,
But there's a catch.
Oh, no. She's in a coma.
A coma.
Oh, that's bad. So how are they supposed to get to her research if she's trapped inside her own head?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. The only way to access her potentially world-saving research is to go where few dare to tread, into the depths of her coma-induced dreamscape.
Hold on. We're talking about diving headfirst into a coma patient's mind, which just happens to be teeming with zombies.
Yes,
That's pretty intense.
it is. And these aren't your typical shambling, mindless undead.
Oh.
We're talking about manifestations of Dr. Vance's deepest fears and anxieties,
Right.
brought to life in a nightmarish reflection of the apocalypse raging outside.
That sounds terrifying. So who's brave enough to venture into this mental minefield?
Well, meet Alex Mercer, the master dream extractor. He's our guide through this twisted dreamscape, tasked with the daunting mission of retrieving the cure to the zombie virus.
Oh, wow.
Locked away in Dr. Vance's subconscious.
Talk about high stakes. This isn't just a casual stroll through dreamland, is it?
Definitely not. It's a thrilling blend of sci-fi action and psychological thriller, exploring the idea that even in a zombie apocalypse, the most terrifying battles can be fought within our own minds.
So it's not just about fighting off hordes of zombies.
Yeah.
It's about confronting inner demons as well.
Absolutely. Alex and his team have to navigate a world where the line between reality and nightmare is blurred, where every zombie they encounter represents a different facet of Dr. Vance's psyche.
That raises the question. Who exactly makes up this dream team tasked with saving humanity from the inside out?
Well, there's Alex, our dream extractor extraordinaire. Then we have Agent Harris, the one who assigns this incredibly dangerous mission to Alex.
And let's not forget Mia, Dr. Vance's daughter. What role does she play in all of this?
Oh, Mia's crucial. She provides essential insights into her mother's psyche and research acting as a psychological map for Alex to navigate this chaotic dreamscape.
That makes sense. But you mentioned earlier that this dreamscape is no walk in the park. Just how nightmarish are we talking?
Imagine the ravaged world outside reflected through a distorted, surreal lens. Every layer of the dream reveals deeper fears and anxieties. And remember, the zombies here aren't mindless. They're manifestations of Dr. Vance's guilt fears and the immense pressure she faced in her research.
Wow, so they're like personalized zombies, custom-made from her darkest thoughts.
Exactly. It's like confronting your worst fears, but with a zombie twist.
And I'm guessing those encounters are pretty harrowing.
Oh, yeah.
Can you give us a glimpse into what Alex and the team are up against?
Well, imagine navigating through a crumbling city, the streets choked with the undead. Each zombie reflects a different aspect of Dr. Vance's psyche. Some are slow and shambling, representing her early doubts and anxieties.
Got it.
But then as they delve deeper,
Right.
they encounter zombies that are smarter, faster, more cunning.
Oh, no.
These reflect the evolution of the virus, both in the real world and within Dr. Vance's mind. It's a terrifying double threat,
Yeah.
battling personal demons and a rapidly evolving virus at the same time.
So it's a race against time where every encounter could be their last, and each vanquished zombie reveals another piece of the puzzle leading to the cure.
That's right. And there's another layer of danger here. The stakes are incredibly high because death in this dreamscape doesn't mean waking up. It means becoming one of the undead in Dr. Vance's mind.
Whoa. That's a serious incentive to stay alive.
Absolutely. It adds a whole new level of tension and urgency to the mission. Not only do they have to find the cure, but they have to survive doing it, or they'll become part of the very nightmare they're trying to escape.
So it's not just Dr. Vance's life at stake. It's the entire team. It sounds like navigating this psychological minefield would require more than just a map. They'd need a therapist on speed dial.
You're not wrong. But remember, Alex is the best there is at what he does. He's not just a dream extractor. He's a master of manipulating the dreamscape itself.
So they're not just fighting zombies, they're fighting the dream itself.
Exactly. They're using Dr. Vance's own hopes and desires to manipulate the environment, hacking into her subconscious to overcome the defenses erected by her anxieties.
Now that's some next-level dream manipulation. This journey has to be taking a toll on Alex as well. He can't be just a detached observer in all this, can he?
Not at all. He has to confront his own fears and failures to lead the team through this nightmare. It's a personal journey of growth and resilience as much as it is a mission to save humanity.
So he's battling inner demons and outer zombies. Talk about a high-pressure situation.
It is. But as they delve deeper, they make a chilling discovery. The virus isn't just a physical threat.
Oh no, don't tell me.
It can actually infiltrate dreams, too.
It can infiltrate dreams. Oh my goodness.
Which raises a terrifying question. How do you fight something that can breach the sanctity of your mind?
This is giving me chills. It sounds like the stakes just went from sky high to stratospheric.
Absolutely. It adds a whole new dimension of horror to the story. Now they're not just fighting for their lives, they're fighting for the very integrity of their minds.
Okay, so they're deep in this twisted dreamscape, battling personal demons and an ever-evolving dream-infiltrating virus. What happens next? Do they find Dr. Vance?
They do. But the encounter is far from what they expected.
Uh-oh.
They come face to face with a nightmarish, monstrous version of Dr. Vance herself.
Oh, man. Talk about a family reunion gone wrong. What does this monstrous Vance represent?
This terrifying figure is the embodiment of Dr. Vance's guilt and her absolute refusal to accept the consequences of her research.
So it's not just a battle for the cure, but for Dr. Vance's soul.
Exactly. And during this epic confrontation, they uncover a shocking truth. The virus wasn't just a scientific accident.
Wait, are you saying it was a dream gone wrong?
You guessed it. The virus was a byproduct of a dream manipulation experiment gone haywire. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi horror movie.
This is insane. So the solution to the apocalypse lies in understanding and reversing this dream-based aberration.
Yeah.
That's a pretty wild twist.
It is. But how does Alex get this vital information out of a collapsing dreamscape while facing a monstrous version of the very person he's trying to save?
Well, that's what we're going to find out in the next part of the Drunken Zombies podcast.
Yes!
Don't go anywhere, folks. Things are about to get even more intense. We're back with the Drunken Zombies podcast and the story of Alex Mercer, who's trapped in Dr. Vance's collapsing dreamscape, facing a monstrous version of the very person he needs to save. This is where things get really tricky.
You're absolutely right. It's a nail-biting moment. The dreamscape is disintegrating around him. The monstrous Dr. Vance is closing in, and Alex realizes that fighting her directly is futile. He has to think outside the box.
So instead of brute force, he resorts to his dream manipulation skills.
Exactly. He understands that this battle is as much psychological as it is physical. Alex cleverly uses the chaotic energy of the collapsing dreamscape to his advantage. He manipulates the dream environment, amplifying the fear and guilt embodied by the monstrous Vance, essentially turning her own nightmare against her.
That's brilliant, turning her own inner turmoil into a weapon. It sounds incredibly risky, though.
It was a high-stakes gamble, but it pays off. As the monstrous Vance becomes overwhelmed by her own amplified anxieties, Alex seizes his opportunity. He grabs the formula for the cure and makes a daring escape from the imploding dreamscape just in the nick of time.
That was a close one. What a relief. You made it back to the real world with the cure right.
He did. He wakes up in the real world, cure in hand, but he's not the same Alex who entered the dreamscape. The experience has profoundly changed him. The lines between dreams and reality have become blurred, and he carries the weight of everything he witnessed and felt in Dr. Vance's mind.
That's understandable. It must have been a traumatic experience. But he has the cure, so humanity is saved, right? End of story.
Not quite. While Alex's return with the cure does offer a beacon of hope in a world consumed by darkness, the journey is far from over. The escape was only half the battle. He's back in a world ravaged by the zombie apocalypse, carrying a cure that challenges everything they thought they knew about the virus.
So now he faces the daunting task of convincing a desperate and skeptical world that the solution lies in understanding dreams. That must be a tough sell in a world fighting for survival.
It is. But thankfully, Alex isn't alone. He has the support of Agent Harris and the remaining resources of the government. And of course, there's Mia, Dr. Vance's daughter. She's a brilliant scientist herself and understands her mother's research better than anyone.
So they join forces to synthesize the cure and distribute it to the masses.
Precisely. It's a desperate race against time, a frantic struggle to turn the tide before the virus consumes everything. They face numerous challenges, logistical nightmares, skepticism from those who refuse to believe in this radical approach, and the constant threat of zombie attacks.
It sounds like a war on two fronts, battling the virus itself and the doubts and fears of a shattered population. What a daunting task.
It was. But slowly and steadily, they start to make progress. The cure works. People who are on the brink of becoming mindless zombies are brought back from the edge.
That's incredible. A truly remarkable feat. So they win. Humanity is saved.
Yes. They ultimately succeed in pushing back against the tide of the undead. But the victory comes at a great cost. The world is irrevocably scarred by the apocalypse. Millions are dead cities lie in ruins, and the psychological trauma of the outbreak lingers like a persistent shadow over the survivors.
A stark reminder that even when we overcome a threat, the consequences can be profound. The echoes of the nightmare continue to haunt us long after it's over.
Exactly. And for Alex, those echoes resonate even more deeply. His journey into Dr. Vance's mind has left him with a unique perspective on the fragility of reality and the immense power of the human psyche. He emerges as a hero, but a haunted one. A man who saved the world but lost a part of himself in the process.
This story has taken us on an incredible journey. From the depths of a coma-induced dreamscape to the harrowing realities of a zombie apocalypse, we've explored the power of dreams, the resilience of the human spirit, and the devastating consequences of unchecked ambition. But the question remains, what happens next? What becomes of Alex and the world he fought so hard to save? We'll find out when we return for the final part of the Drunken Zombies podcast. Welcome back to the Drunken Zombies podcast. We left off with Alex back in the real world, cure in hand but forever changed by his journey through Dr. Vance's nightmarish dreamscape. It's a victory, but a bittersweet one. He saved the world, but at a great cost. What happens now?
That's the question that lingers, isn't it? Alex emerges from this experience with a profound understanding of the virus, something no one else possesses. He knows the cure is not just about treating the physical symptoms,
Right.
but about addressing the root cause, the dream manipulation experiment gone wrong.
So he has this incredible knowledge, but how does he apply it in a world that's been ravaged by the apocalypse? The infrastructure is crumbling, people are desperate. It must be incredibly challenging to even get started.
You're right, it's a monumental task. But Alex, along with Agent Harris and Mia, begin working tirelessly to translate his insights into a practical solution. They start by focusing on containment and treatment, using the formula he retrieved to develop a way to reverse the effects of the virus.
That must be a huge relief for those who are infected,
Yeah.
to have a chance to return to some semblance of normalcy.
Yeah.
But what about preventing future outbreaks? How do they address the root cause of the virus, the dream manipulation experiment?
It's a complex issue. They realize that simply shutting down all research related to dream manipulation isn't the answer. After all, Dr. Vance's initial intentions were noble.
Right.
She was searching for ways to help people heal and evolve through their dreams.
So they need to find a way to harness the potential of dream manipulation,
Yes.
while also safeguarding against its dangers. That sounds the tightrope walk.
It is. They establish strict ethical guidelines and protocols for any future research in this field, emphasizing transparency, safety, and a deep understanding of the potential risks involved. It's a long process, but they're committed to ensuring that such a catastrophe never happens again.
It's amazing to see how even in the face of such devastation, they manage to find hope and rebuild. What about Alex, though? What becomes of him after all he's been through?
Alex's journey doesn't end with the development of the cure. He continues to work with Mia and Agent Harris to monitor the situation, but his experience has left an indelible mark on him. He's become an advocate for responsible dream research, using his unique perspective to guide others and ensure that the power of dreams is used for good.
It sounds like he's found a way to turn his trauma into something positive, using his experience to make a real difference in the world.
He has. He becomes a symbol of hope, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of dreams. Even in the darkest of times, the human mind can find ways to heal, adapt, and ultimately triumph.
This has been an incredible story, a roller coaster ride through a zombie-infested dreamscape and the depths of the human psyche. It's a story that reminds us that even in the face of unimaginable horror, there's always hope and the power to overcome even the most daunting challenges.
It's a story that stays with you long after you've heard it, prompting you to think about the power of your own mind and the responsibility we all share in shaping our world.
And with that, we come to the end of this episode of the Drunken Zombies Podcast. Don't forget to rate and follow us for more tales of brains and mayhem. Until next time, stay safe, sleep tight, and watch out for those dreams.